Slayer Catherine. I am Jeremiah Mushtik, your dad's long-lost brother. I know you are probably a bit confused as to why you are here and not at the Empire State. I am confused too, if I am completely honest, because I didn't plan to meet you here. Your dad forced me to come here, and if I didn't, then he probably would have done something to me. Anyway, let's get to the real talk of Mark Pocket. Mark wasn't the perfect and innocent person that everyone thought he was. Instead, he turned to anger and frustration quite a lot. Mark was a really good man to have a one-to-one conversation with, but if anything brought up the truth, then you wouldn't have liked to be in the firing line. I got in that line quite a lot, but luckily he didn't do anything to me. Mark had quite a rough upbringing, as he was always misunderstood as being troublesome, but that was far from the truth. In fact, he was rather innocent until he grew into his teenage years. The longer I sat there looking at Jeremiah, the more he was going on about Mark and how all innocent he seemed. I wasn't here for that. I was here for the dark and rough side to Mark, not the innocence. Anyway, some time has passed and Jeremiah said, "Now time for the nitty-gritty story. Finally, I am going to hear the truth about Mark." Hi Ellie Mae, I'm okay, thank you, how are you? So, Mark Pocket, hey? Here we go. When your dad and Mark were younger, they got along extremely well and were very close indeed. They would always get in trouble by coming up with pranks, but when your dad first murdered someone, Mark always helped him too. Jeremiah said with a big stare to the door. Mark helped him do what? Jason bellowed and stood up sharply in front of him. Out of nowhere, I was meant to, but I bellowed, not Jason bellowed. Anyway, out of nowhere, Jason barged through the door and bellowed, "Do not tell her, Jeremiah, I am warning you." "Why not?" Jeremiah bellowed in complete revenge. Jason barged Jeremiah against the wall behind the desk, keeping him guard. Jeremiah bellowed. Mark covered up Jason's murders and helped him escape. I dashed outside the room as quickly as I could and sprinted to the lifts as fast as my little legs could. I hammered the lift button and got in as quickly as I could. As soon as I got into the lifts, I took a big breath in and pretended that none of this even happened. It was all a dream. Before I knew it, I was back in the castle, sat at a grand table eating a nice lasagna with the family. Chapter 9. Back at the castle. "How was your shopping trip, Catherine?" Eliza said. I didn't take in what she said as I was moving